The phrase ketchup in your veins is something we use in McDonald's when you love the business, when you feel that love.
Meet Mike Fontaine, owner of the world's largest collection of 75,000 pieces of McDonald's memorabilia. The 60-year-old has spent almost half a century amassing a gigantic haul of everything to do with the famous restaurant. And his astonishing labour of love has been meticulously catalogued and put on display in his home in Pennsylvania, USA. Behind the doors of this seemingly ordinary house is a colourful history of a global fast food favourite.
I have glasses, I have Happy Meal toys, Happy Meal displays, equipment, lapel pins. My table of contents is 398 different categories.
9 rooms in Mike's home have been given over to his collection, displayed on 2 miles of shelving.
This is my cup and glass room, and there's over 1,000 different McDonald's cups, glasses, in all different categories.
Mike's career with McDonald's began as a teenager in 1968 when he was just 15.
I started with McDonald's when I was 15, and at age 30, I actually owned a McDonald's restaurant.
Today, for the first time, Mike is allowing an archivist from the McDonald's Corporation to see inside his home.
In my opinion, as the McDonald's archivist, I believe Mike has the most encompassing collection in the world. It's in pristine shape, they're one-of-a-kind pieces, it's just awesome.
With the collection still growing, Mike has big plans for the future of his life's work.
My ultimate goal for this collection is for McDonald's to help me build a museum. By charging admission, the money could go to Ronald McDonald House Charities to help kids around the world who have cancer.
How many yo-yos do I own? I can't begin to count them all. Well, my real job is I am a physician, I'm a dermatologist and a skin cancer surgeon. I've treated over 30,000 skin cancers since I've been here in Orlando, Florida.
In addition to saving lives, Lucky Meisenheimer has the world's largest collection of yo-yos.
I bought my first yo-yo. I was probably around 12 or 13 years old, so there was a little bit of a yo-yo craze going on. I did have a natural affinity to the yo-yo from the very beginning. The value of the collection is considered to be worth $250,000. This is the entrance to my yo-yo collection. It's 2 stories tall. How many yo-yos do I own? Well, you can start counting. 1, 2, 3, a lot. The Guinness World Record is over 4,000 different yo-yos, but I have probably close to 10,000 yo-yos here at the house. We have now just entered the world's largest yo-yo collection. My most favorite yo-yo out of all these thousands and thousands of yo-yos, you might be surprised, it's this little plain green yo-yo, but this is kind of the holy grail of yo-yos. It's a Flores yo-yo, and the reason it's important is that Pedro Flores was the first person to name the yo-yo yo-yo in the United States. Before this, they were called bandolores. This yo-yo here in 1990 was the Guinness World Record's largest yo-yo. It was 6 feet tall and it weighs 820 pounds. And everybody wants to know, well, does it actually have to yo-yo? It did. It required an 80-foot crane to do it. Each yo-yo has its own little story. I'm really a yo-yo historian, if you will.
This is the largest collection of beer cans in the world. Welcome to Brewhouse Mountain. Come on inside.
Over the course of 40 years, Jeff Lebo has accumulated more than 87,000 beer cans.
There are probably about 5,000 cans in this room.
His collection is valued at a whopping $1.6 million and is kept in his holiday home, Brewhouse Mountain.
It took me about 2 years to complete this place, but I say complete in quotations because it's never really finished. It's sort of an ongoing labor of love. I started collecting when I was about 13 years old. It was sort of a fad that was sweeping the United States. And in addition to that, I had a lot of friends in the neighborhood that also collected that sort of got me into it. My dad was also working for American Can Company. That was the first can company in the United States to, actually the first can company in the world to patent beer cans back in 1935. Right here we have the very first beer can ever to exist. This is from the Kruger Company in Newark, New Jersey, and it was test marketed in 1935 in Virginia.
But having amassed such a large collection, he needed somewhere to display it.
Well, I decided back in about 1998 to build Brewhouse Mountain. It was always sort of a dream of mine to have a place to be able to display the whole collection. Here we have the American Room, where people can stay. These are all cans from the US of A, tab-top cans, which started in 1962. Here's the bathroom. Even the bathroom has beer stuff all through it. I don't anticipate ever selling the whole collection. It's actually really hard selling any of it because I've worked really hard to build it. I like being able to sort of preserve some of the social history in a way, especially these kinds of items because they were produced to be thrown away. They were never meant to be art objects. They were never meant to be collected. They were never meant to be saved. They were actually meant to be discarded.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Anthony Sforza has boldly gone where few Trekkies have gone before, by turning his basement into a Starship Enterprise replica.
It took me almost 3 years working nights to produce this basement. It probably has over 1,500 man hours put into it. Probably value-wise, you're looking at $500,000, I would say.
Like millions across the world, plumber Anthony became captivated by the exploits of Captain Kirk and his Starfleet crew.
I started collecting Star Trek memorabilia back in the early 80s. Then we went to a convention that was in New York City, and it was unbelievable. You could actually purchase props, and that's what I started with.
In 2010, he decided on his most ambitious project to date, creating his one-of-a-kind Star Trek basement.
My collection probably has about 300 pieces in it. The most notable pieces of the collection are the captain's costume, which is called the Monster Maroon. To find the materials that they used on the show was next to impossible. You can't get an answer from anybody. So I was able to purchase a piece of the set during one of the auctions and then pulled it apart to find out the exact paint and materials that were used, and that's how I created the space.
His family enjoy nothing more than retiring to the basement to watch their favourite shows on the Captain's Bridge.
I think that it's cool because, like, all the things that he has and all the belts and the badges and, like, everything, it's just another way to show that he loves Star Trek.
And Anthony plans to continue building his massive collection.
I'm going to expand a little bit on this room. I want to go maybe another 25 feet outside and wrap it around so that I can display more costumes because I can't put any more in here. It's just too tight.
Beat me up, Scotty.